Well, Scott, as always, we appreciate it. Good stuff here on the pre-season preview for us. Best of luck to you and the Brew Crew in the 2020 season. We'll talk to you soon.
You too, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
See you.
Thanks for that update, Scott. We appreciate it and look forward to the season with you guys. And from here, we're going to move on to the Meridians.
And this segment is brought to you by BP Bats. BP Bats, built by players for players. BP Bats are built by individuals who understand the process and understand the grind. Regardless of your skill level, you'll find the lumber here that won't let you down. BP Bats. Contact us at bpbats.com.
Our next team preview features a team that made it all the way to the finals last season. They had their best season ever in the CABL. They had the pitcher of the year on their team, and the guy we're going to talk to owns the record for the most hit by pitches in a season. He also owns a bat company. Talk about both of those things and the Meridians 2020 prospects. Our pleasure to welcome in Justin Krause. Justin, thanks for joining us here on the preseason preview.
No problem, anytime.
It's a long time no talk. It's been like 2 shows since we had you on, so I know that
exactly. Feels like forever.
Exactly. Well, before we get to the bad company and the hit by pitch record, I always like to touch on those funny things like that. Let's talk about the Meridians 2020 roster. I know we did the first preview we did was with the Sting, and they were telling us that looks like Brett Miller is going over there to play for them. Who do you guys have to fill those innings? Those are big shoes to fill.
Yes, they are, obviously. But this year we can use Nate Kroll a little more, and our shortstop, Nick Walterman, he is of age to pitch as well.
Oh, is he? Walterman can pitch. Okay.
We can also lean on Newman a little more as well. So, yeah, those, 90 innings are going to be missed, but hopefully we can make it up.
Yeah, well, you didn't mention yourself. You got that left-handed slower and slowest approach there.
Yeah, I might even have to make an inning or 2 appearances this year.
I think the last time you threw was the Kentucky League.
Yep. No, I've thrown an inning here and there in this league.
A few here and there. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Brett's departure is a big blow for the Meridians. Of course, the main Meridian, Mike Soto, who knows where he is now. I hear from him every once in a while. So I guess he'll be around sparingly this year as well, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think he will be around sparingly as well as Jack. I don't think he will get as many at-bats. I don't think his knees are coming back like he thought. So, yeah. No, not as much Soto and not as much Jack this year. So
yeah, a couple of the all-time Meridians there. So in addition to those guys, Brett Miller, any other departures from the 2019 roster that would be significant?
Nope, that is it on the departures.
So you got pretty good
big enough.
base there. That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. But you got guys, guys like Newman in there. You've got Walterman, who's a heck of a player. Nate, I think he had 30+ hits. And of course, Mills. Who can forget about Mills? So still plenty of talent left over. Have you added anything to the roster this year?
No, but we will have a full year of Hump this year, who's pretty solid behind the dish, and you can plug him in anywhere.
Okay.
Last year, I think he only made it out for 10, 12 games, whatever it was, to get eligible for the playoffs. But this year we'll have a full year of him, so we're hoping that helps out a bit, and we can plug and play everywhere else.
Yeah, adding him into the lineup certainly will help. And, of course, Nate is a guy who's thrown over 100 innings a couple times. Looks like only about 50 last year, but I don't think he'll have any problem up in the workload.
Yeah, exactly. So we can get him up close to that 100, or we can have Walt throw some innings. Newman threw like 4 or 5 last year. We can get him in there. So while Brett's going to be missed, we should be able to make it up without hopefully missing a beat.
And I can tell you as a right-handed batter, you don't really have to deal with this, but Nate is a nightmare of an at-bat. The ball looks like it's coming from behind you. For those who aren't familiar with Nate, he's a sidewinder, and looks like the ball scrapes the top of the mound when he throws it. You're talking like, the Chad Bradford, Dan Quisenberry, guys like that throw almost underhanded, but he gets up there pretty good, and it's tough on a righty.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not right-handed and have to face that. No, let's just leave it at that.
Well, maybe that's your approach to being a pitcher there, Krause. You could make a comeback on the hill by doing that thing from the left-handed side. What do you think?
No,
you can get Nate to teach you.
Yeah, I like to be able to move my arm the next day. That's a nice feeling.
There you go. Well, a great year for you guys last year. Obviously, making it all the way to the finals. I think one of the last games you lost. And I'm going to give a plug to my radio partner here, Ray Sterling. He threw a gem against you guys last year.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a good one.
That was a quick game too. It was fast.
It did move by really quick.
I think you guys scored a couple runs in the first couple innings, and that was it.
Yeah, I think it was a 3-0 game.
Yeah, it was 2-0, 3-0. It was a wham bam, thank you ma'am out of McNick.
Yep.
So did Ray just lull you guys to sleep?
I don't know. I do not know.
It's a good mixture.
There were a lot of pop-ups. I remember that.
Yeah, a lot up in the infield. Well, that was a probably a good battle. You guys have had a pretty good rivalry over the last few years. Before we're done with the preview, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention the fact, as we did on the last show, BP bats. If we ever get back to playing again, coronavirus is over with, and I need a bat. How do I get one?
You go to bpbats.com, and the promo code is CABL. Get you 10% off.
Okay, and all kinds of bats in terms of sizes. You can get those customized.
Yep, you can customize all sorts of options. You have MLB Prime. You have a step below the MLB grade maple, which we have those on hand, and those get shipped out pretty much immediately. We have an option for that. So yeah, plenty of options to mix and play. We even go down to youth options as well.
Okay, so if the guys listening right now have some kids playing travel ball, wood bat tournament type thing, they can pick up some wood. bpbats.com is the place to go. Well, Justin, we appreciate you coming on here again. If the pattern holds, we'll have you on about 2 shows from now again. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll be around.
All right, sounds good. Justin Krause from the Meridians, our guest. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck in 2020.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks again for that update with the Meridians. And again, hopefully everybody's going to have a good season this year. Hopefully we'll get it started on time and you get this virus thing over with. But next preview is going to be Crafty and the Hooks.
Our next team preview is of the 7-time defending league champions. They won 30-plus games again last year and just continue to roll. Talking, of course, about none other than the Hooks. Pleased to be joined by the manager of the Hooks, Jeff Kraft. Jeff, thanks for joining us on the preseason preview.
I appreciate you asking me to come aboard.
Well, Jeff, the Boston Celtics won 8 consecutive NBA championships in the 1960s until Bill Russell kind of crapped out. Is Bill Russell going to crap out on you guys this year, or are you going to go for the Celtics record here?
Bill Russell is motivated.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of my Bill Russell, he's looking to get back in. He felt like he had a down year. I know we're talking about Ben Ramsey is a big part of our team, but he's motivated. They're all motivated. I kind of said to them at our first practice a few weeks ago, and I said, we don't really need to add a player. We all need to get a little better. I mean, some people had some bad years and other people picked them up. If some of the people that didn't have quite the year they've had in the past will get back to normalcy, we picked up a player out of all of that, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, the addition by all of the improvements across the board. It's funny. I was talking to Ramsey at the banquet, and it was almost like it was kind of motivated him a bit seeing the Player of the Year award go to somebody else. I think he was, and keep in mind Ramsey hit 378 last year with still 4 home runs and probably more than 99% of the league. But I think it probably motivated him. Wouldn't be surprised to see him come out and go nuts this year.
Yeah, and Tyler deserved that. I would have voted for Tyler. I did vote for Tyler rather, and I think Ramsey saw that as well, and he had a great year. I mean, defensively and being on the bench when things are happening, he's always talking and keeping everybody loose and you lead by example. He's great at that, and we've got a few guys like that. But I think it motivated him. I think he's looking very forward to the season beginning if he can.
Yeah, if we can, hopefully we can get out there and actually start doing some baseball stuff. Now, I'm looking at the roster. You say that no additions necessarily for 2020. I think you had told me a while back you may be losing Adam Kirkendall.
We have, and really, he's moved to Wilmington. Kirkendall's been here since day one, and he's been a big part of this. And, it wasn't for any problems or anything. I think he saw things a little differently than maybe I did, but I know he's moved to Wilmington. He's got a really nice girl, and I think they're engaged, and I think there's going to be some changes there. So I think it was timing more than anything. We might have picked up a center fielder, possibly a kid from Dayton, but he lives in Dayton. He's been to a practice, and he looks good, but it's going to be tough to get him at all games. He might be a Sunday only. And Danny Mack's brother might fill in some spots for us if we need him. He looks like he's young. That's helpful. He's a lot like Danny, doesn't strike out, puts the ball in play, and probably can play multiple positions. So we may have used those two guys if they can fall into place. But, I feel like we're still strong. I don't think as long as injuries doesn't get us, we should be just the same, I would hope.
Yeah, same cast of characters. The big trio of Heil, Spanel, Demler, kind of your version of Maddox, Glavin, and Smoltz.
And this sounds goofy, but Spanel's late in the year, kind of starting for us normally. Every week that goes by that we don't play, and I don't want this to happen. Obviously, no one does, but it's really falling into his hands because he can start. He'll probably start when we start, and that gives us a full year of having Spanel. So I'd love to start tomorrow, but it'll help him in the long run not to throw so many innings.
Right. And, Ray, you guys had the pleasure of playing the Hooks a couple times last year out at McNick.
Yep.
Kind of a scary proposition that these guys pretty much the same cast of characters.
Yeah, they're a tough team. Every time we go out, it's that they've got the bullseye on their back. Everybody's looking for them.
I think good point.
That's what kind of prompted some of the moves. I think that we've seen over the off season as well. People trying to build up to even that out. So they're going to go into it again with another bullseye, and they're going to get everybody's best. So you might not like the reference, but they are like the Kentucky.
Well, I don't like that reference.
You're going to have to like that. But hey, by the way, Demler will really like the Atlanta Braves because reference there, the comparison.
Well, he's the Glavin.
Yeah, he loves Glavin
for sure.
He sure
Ray,
is.
You make a couple of great points there. One, the Hooks, and to a lesser degree, I can vouch for this because my team sees a lot of the same, maybe not to the effect that the Hooks do, but you see everyone's best. They're wanting to beat you because you're at the top, and it's tough when you're seeing everybody's best pitcher and the guys show up for the games against you. So it does make that schedule a little bit tougher. And to your other point, some of these other teams, they have to get better if you want to compete and try to win this thing. We've seen it with the Bulls. We've seen the Sting add Brett Miller. We've seen guys coming from all over the place, really shooting for you guys, Jeff.
We have a saying, and I kind of put it out there. We're a very close team. We email throughout the season. I mean, we get together throughout the season. I mean, these guys actually like each other. It's amazing. I've been on teams that it's just walk away, the game's over, see you next Sunday, and this team isn't like that. I put out a little phrase that kind of tried to motivate them, and I said, if you can't beat them, combine and try to beat them.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a little bit of a sarcasm, but I also tell them, everybody does. We do get their best, and it motivates you. We have been humbled. We don't take it for granted. I hope the league knows that. I think they do. We come out to play, and I don't feel like we try to throw it in anybody's face how the result is. But if we lose, we know we were beaten by somebody that deserved to beat us, and that's really a fun way to play baseball.
That's a good point, Joe. I mean, playing against you guys for the last few years and stuff, and going up, I never, we all have it, right? There's these guys in the league that just really eat at you, and you just want to beat their ass. But you guys aren't like that. I mean, most of the guys that I've talked to from your team are pretty good guys, and don't try to be showboats or show that off. And I think that says another thing for you guys. So I know there's going to be some teams gunning, and once you cross the lines, you can have the attitude. That's okay. But I don't see the attitude off the field or anything like that. And especially I don't think Jim Demler would be part of those type of guys either. Knowing Jim. I don't think he would want to be part of that. So that should say a lot if he's been there for, to me, that says a lot. So
it does. And he's been in school systems. Every player in our team, I believe, has played some level of college baseball. And, when you get on a college team, you're very humble because everybody around you is as good, if not better than you are. So, there's no reason to show your ass to anybody. You trying to compete. The game is a simple game to play, but a hard game to play, and there's no reason. Everybody sees what's going on. Nobody needs to say a word about it.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, Jeff. Does the RV make any stops in the Hooks country during the off season?
That thing, when we see it pull in, it almost makes me upset because I know we got a 2-day hangover coming.
Oh, yeah.
The team's already expecting to win. Nobody wants to go in that thing if you lose and party.
No.
It's hard to sit around and look at everybody when you have a loss